Listen carefully. If you've lost something or someone you loved, every minute you spend doing nothing drags you deeper into pain. Today, you're going to learn how to turn that sadness into pure strength, how to take every shattered piece of your heart and forge it into clarity, into power, into a life that waits for no one. This is not comfort. These aren't pretty words. This is a direct, step-by-step plan to stop suffering and start living again. And if you listen with intention, your life will change, starting today. Chapter 1. Accept the reality of pain. Listen. There are no shortcuts, no excuses. You've lost something important. You've lost someone. You've lost a dream. You've lost a moment that will never return. And here's the raw truth. You can't keep running from it. Every attempt to ignore it, to pretend it doesn't hurt, only deepens the wound. That's the key. Accepting the reality of pain is not optional. It's not a gentle suggestion. It's a decision that defines your future. First, acknowledge the loss. Say it out loud if you have to. Think about it. Feel the weight of it. Yes, it hurts. Yes, it's deep. Yes, it's uncomfortable. But ignoring sadness won't make it disappear. Let me say it again. You won't avoid pain. Don't run. Accept it and move forward. Look around you. People who've suffered similar losses and chose to ignore them, to pretend everything's fine, often end up more broken than before. People who don't allow themselves to feel, who block their tears, who avoid painful memories, their sadness turns into anxiety, into anger, into emptiness. You don't want that. You don't need that. That's the first lesson. The first step is to see the truth. Now, don't confuse acceptance with weakness. Acceptance doesn't mean surrender. Acceptance means you're taking control. Control over your reaction, over how you'll move forward from here. You have a choice. You always do. You can look at your pain, embrace it, understand it, and then decide, today, I will not let it control me. That's the key. Let's break it down. 3 simple steps that sound basic, but most people never practice them. 1. Name the pain. Be specific. What did you lose? What hurts most today? What keeps you awake at night? Say the names. Don't hide behind vague phrases. Power lies in clarity, because what isn't named cannot be mastered. 2. Feel the pain, without judgment. You can cry, you can be angry, you can feel afraid. It's normal, it's human. This isn't about weakness, it's about emotional discipline. Don't run from your emotions. Don't block them. Feel every heartbeat, every memory, every sting in your chest. You have a choice. Let it destroy you or let it teach you. That's the key. 3. Take conscious action. Acceptance means nothing without movement. Choose one small, tangible step today that reconnects you to life. It can be taking a walk, writing down your feelings, or talking with someone who respects your process. Action. Always action. This isn't about escaping pain. It's about moving through it with purpose. Think about real examples. Some people lost loved ones and tried to ignore their pain. They shut themselves off, and life moved on without them. Their grief turned into bitterness, their sadness into resentment, their anger into isolation, all because they didn't accept the reality of pain when it came. Now think of those who did accept their loss, who faced the wound head-on, who named it, who felt every emotion, every tear, every empty moment. Those people found their strength again. They rebuilt their lives from within. They learned to love again, to trust again, to move forward with clarity. You have that same choice. That's the difference. Repeat after me. I will not avoid the pain. I will not run. I will accept and move forward. Say it again, louder. Let your words become a constant reminder of your discipline. Every time you fear facing your loss, repeat it. Every time the memory hits you at night, repeat it. Every time someone says, just forget and move on, remember, it's not about forgetting, it's about mastering your reaction to pain. That's the key. Now, here's the part most people ignore. Accepting the reality of pain gives you control. It sounds contradictory, I know. How can I have control when I feel completely broken? Here's the answer. Control isn't the absence of pain. Control is a decision. Control is discipline. It's not about being emotionless, it's about being intentional. It's not about running from the feeling, it's about using the feeling as fuel. You have a choice. You don't need permission. You don't need validation. You just need a decision. So what will you do now? Today. Not tomorrow. Not later. Today, take inventory of your pain. Name it. Feel every piece of it. Then, take one conscious step toward life. It might be small, it might seem insignificant, but it's the first step in your reconstruction. That action separates the victim, the one trapped in loss, from the person who rises and continues with purpose. Remember, pain won't go away until you face it. Sadness won't dissolve if you ignore it. Every attempt to escape only prolongs the suffering. That's why we repeat, you will not avoid pain, you will not run. Accept and move forward. That's the key. That's the discipline. That's the first victory. And once you've taken this step, once you've had the courage to face the wound and say, yes, it hurts, yes, it's real, yes, I'm moving through it, then you're ready for the next level. You've mastered your first fear. Now, let's talk about the true currency of your life. The silent cost of resisting sadness. Chapter 2, The Cost of Resisting Sadness. Listen carefully. There's a silent enemy most people never recognize. It's not loss. It's not sadness itself. It's resisting sadness. Yes, resisting, blocking, ignoring, pretending that everything's fine when it's not. Every time you avoid feeling, every time you suppress, every time you say, I shouldn't feel this, you're paying a price. And it's not a small one. That price is taken from your energy, your mental clarity, your body, your life. That's the key. Look around. The world tells you, be strong, don't cry, get over it quickly. And yes, some people find temporary comfort in those phrases, but listen closely. Strength doesn't come from running away from pain. Strength comes from facing sadness, from looking it straight in the eyes, from sitting with it until it loses its power over you. You have a choice. You always do. You can resist and pay a silent price, or you can let go and gain strength. That's the key. Let's see how this works inside your body and mind. When you resist sadness, your brain enters a constant state of alert, stress, anxiety, tension. The chemistry of your body changes. Cortisol, the stress hormone, spikes. Your heart beats faster. Your breathing becomes shallow. Sleep disappears. Focus fades. Every act of resistance drains your energy. Every act of resistance steals your clarity. Every act of resistance distances you from peace. That's the truth, and you don't need anyone's permission to change it. Now consider your mind. Prolonged resistance to sadness doesn't just affect your body, it consumes your thoughts. You silently replay what you're trying to avoid. You relive scenes, memories, conversations you wish you could forget. You fill yourself with quiet anger, frustration, guilt, all because you didn't want to feel. That's the cost. That's the price no one warns you about. That's the key. Here's a real example. Marta, a 38-year-old woman, lost her brother in an unexpected accident. She didn't allow anyone to see her pain. Every day she got up, went to work, smiled and pretended to be fine. Months later she suffered from severe digestive issues, insomnia, and an emotional breakdown that forced her to take weeks off. Resisting sadness didn't protect her. It made her sick and weak. Every act of resistance drains your energy. Let go and gain strength. That's the lesson. Now I want you to understand something. Resisting is not brave. Resisting is a trap. It may feel strong at first. It may seem like you're in control of your life, but the body and mind don't lie. They feel the truth. And that truth is brutal. Prolonged resistance destroys your vitality, your peace, your clarity. The good news, you have a choice. You always do. You can choose to release. You can choose to feel. You can choose to turn your sadness into strength. That's the key. So how do you begin to let go? 3 essential steps. 1. Recognize the resistance. Stop for a moment and ask yourself, am I avoiding feeling? Am I pretending I'm okay? Be brutally honest. Honesty with yourself is the most powerful form of discipline. This isn't weakness, it's control. Every resistance drains your energy. That's the truth. 2. Allow yourself to feel without guilt or judgment. Cry. Cry with anger, with sadness, with frustration. Let the emotions flow. Don't repress them. Don't tell yourself you should be over this. This isn't weakness, it's discipline. That's the key. 3. Turn emotion into conscious action. Feel the sadness and then choose a movement. Write down your thoughts. Breathe deeply. Exercise. Talk to someone you trust. Action turns emotion into power, into clarity, into direction. Each step takes you out of the destructive cycle of resistance and brings you closer to your inner strength. That's discipline. That's transformation. Listen carefully. Resistance is optional. Feeling and acting are mandatory if you want to take your life back. No one else can do this for you. You don't need permission. You don't need anyone to validate your pain or your process. You only need to decide that your well-being, your clarity, your strength are more important than the comfort of ignoring what hurts. That's the key. Think about your own experience. Every time you've ignored sadness, what did your life gain? Nothing. Every time you faced it, what did you gain? Learning, clarity, strength. Every act of resistance drains your energy. Every act of resistance pulls you away from your power. Let go and gain strength. That's the golden rule. Repeat this. I will not resist. I will feel and act. That's the key. Say it out loud if you need to. Say it every day until it becomes a habit. Every time you resist, remember, you're paying a silent price. And now you know what that price is. Now let's talk about what most people overlook. Resistance clouds your decisions. When you're blocking your sadness, your judgment becomes foggy. Opportunities pass you by. You act out of fear. You make decisions based on avoidance, not intention. It's not about weakness, it's about discipline you haven't practiced yet. You have a choice. You can choose clarity, you can choose action, that's the key. Finally, I want you to internalize this. Every repressed emotion is wasted energy. Every minute you spend resisting, your inner strength weakens. Every hour you pretend to be fine, you're letting pain control you without even realizing it. But every second you choose to feel, to release, to act, you reclaim your power. That's discipline. That's transformation. That's the key. And now the final thought. Stop resisting. Look at your sadness. Name it. Feel it. Act. Don't run from your pain. Don't ignore it. Don't wait for it to vanish on its own. Every act of resistance drains your energy. Let go and gain strength. Master your sadness before it masters you. You have a choice. That's the key. You've now mastered the understanding of the cost of resisting sadness. Next, we'll talk about how to stop seeking external comfort and take full control of your own healing. Chapter 3. Stop seeking external comfort. Listen closely. There's a mistake most people make when they're hurting, a silent but devastating one. Believing that someone else can fix your pain. Believing that a conversation, a hug, advice, or kind words can replace what only you can do. Heal yourself from within. That's the raw truth. That's the key. Most people run to friends, family, even social media, looking for comfort. And yes, some will listen, some will give you temporary support. But hear this clearly. No other human being can take your sadness and transform it for you. None. No word, no external act can replace the internal discipline you need to heal. You have a choice. You always do. You can depend on others, or you can take full responsibility for your healing. That's the key. Look at real examples. Think of Anna, who lost her partner. She ran to her friends every day. She waited for magic words for someone to comfort her. But each visit left her emptier than before. Her friends couldn't fix her pain. They didn't hold the key to her broken heart. All they could do was remind her how vulnerable and powerless she felt. That's the reality most people ignore. Your healing depends on you. Only you. Repeat it until you feel it in every fiber of your being. Now listen, this isn't about isolating yourself. It's not about becoming cold or insensitive. It's about taking control. It's about recognizing that no one can do for you what only you can do. You don't need anyone's permission to heal. You don't need anyone's validation to feel whole. That's the key. First, stop and examine your habits. Every time you seek comfort from others, ask yourself, am I trying to feel better or am I avoiding my pain? Most of the time, it's the second one. That's the trap. That's resistance disguised as support. You have a choice. Recognize it and change it. Take ownership of your healing process. That's the key. Second, change your inner narrative. Every time you feel the urge to call, to text, to seek approval, remember, my healing depends on me. Only on me. Say it out loud. Say it again and again. Say it until every fiber of your body knows it. That's the key. That's the discipline. That's the action no one else can take for you. Third, develop internal healing rituals. Not passive ones. Not distractions. Disciplined rituals. It could be journaling, mindful breathing, meditation, walking alone, or deep reflection. Do it every day at the same time. It doesn't matter what others think. This isn't about someone approving your process. It's about your transformation. Your power depends on this. That's the key. Now understand this. When you depend on others to make you feel better, you give power to yourself, and at the same time, you hand power to them over your well-being. Every time you expect someone else to heal your pain, you allow them to control your peace. And that's dangerous. That's the trap you must avoid. You have a choice. Take your power back. That's the key. Here's another example. Luis lost his job. Every day he waited for friends or family to tell him it's going to be okay. He waited for someone to lift him up, but no one could. No one could give him the strength he needed to move from despair to action. Until one day, he decided to look within. He said to himself, "My healing depends on me, only on me." That moment was a turning point. From there, he began to act. He sought new opportunities, trained his mind, reorganized his life. Transformation happened the moment he stopped seeking external comfort and took full responsibility for his healing. That's the key. Repeat after me. My healing depends on me, only on me. Say it once, say it twice. Say it when you're afraid. Say it when you're in pain. Say it when you feel tempted to depend on someone else. This is the phrase that breaks the illusion of external power. This is the discipline that sets you free. This is the transformation you've been waiting for. Now internalize another truth. It's not about your loss, it's about your discipline. It's not about someone else fixing you, it's about you taking action. It's not about waiting for permission to feel. It's about deciding that you are enough to heal. That's the key. That's the lesson no one teaches, but it defines your entire future. Here's your immediate challenge. Every time you feel the urge to seek relief outside yourself, stop, pause, breathe, look your pain in the eye. Ask, what can I do to feel better? What action can I take right now? Then act. Don't run. Don't distract yourself. Act. That's the discipline. That's the transformation. That's the key. Finally, listen to this. Every step you take toward owning your healing strengthens your mind, your heart, and your spirit. Every time you choose to feel and act for yourself, you're building resilience no one else can give you. Strength doesn't come from outside. Strength lives within. You don't need permission. You don't need approval. You just need to decide. That's the key. Now let this truth sink in as you move forward. You've mastered your need for external comfort. You've conquered the trap of depending on others to feel better. Your healing depends on you, only on you. That's the truth no one else can give you. And when you're ready, prepare for the next level. You're about to learn how to become your own emotional warrior, to take full control of your mind and train your heart for strength. Chapter 4. Become your own emotional warrior. Listen carefully. So far, you've learned to accept the reality of pain. You've understood the cost of resisting sadness. You've stopped depending on others for your healing. Now it's time to take one more step, a step that separates those who survive pain from those who master it. That step is becoming your own emotional warrior. Yes, your strength doesn't come from the outside. Your power doesn't come from comforting words. It comes from within you. That's the key. First, define what it means to be an emotional warrior. Strength is not the absence of pain. It is mastery over it. It's not about ignoring sadness. It's not about pretending that everything is fine. It's about looking at adversity, facing your fear, facing your loss, and saying, "You have power over me, but you do not control my life. You always have a choice." That's the key. Now let's talk strategy. An emotional warrior has daily routines of mental discipline. No magic, no luck, routines. Exercises that strengthen the mind, calm the emotions, and build resilience. For example, people who have gone through devastating losses establish morning rituals of self-affirmation. They get up, look in the mirror, and repeat, "I am alive, I am whole. My pain does not define me, my discipline defines me." That's not optional. That is the action that transforms. That's the key. Second, learn to train your thoughts. Every time your mind drags you into despair, interrupt the pattern. Don't ignore the emotion, but don't get trapped in it either. A powerful technique, name the thought and let it pass. Think, there's the sadness. I see it. It doesn't control me, I act. Each repetition strengthens your mental control. Each repetition increases your power. That's the discipline. That's the key. Third, the body is your ally. Emotional strength cannot exist without physical strength. Exercise, deep breathing, bodily discipline, all of it reinforces the mind. Survivors of extreme loss follow strict routines. They run when they don't want to run. They train when they don't feel like it. They breathe when fear tries to paralyze them. Every conscious act reminds them, I am responsible for my strength. I need no permission. I seek no approval. I am in control. That's the key. Now, internalize this. The emotional warrior does not wait for the world to adapt to their pain. They don't wait for someone to say, it's okay to feel that way. No, they take action. Every day, every moment, every decision. You have a choice, to surrender or to master your emotion. That is the choice that defines your life. That's the key. Let's look at a real example. Carla lost her mother unexpectedly. She cried. She struggled. She felt despair. But she established a daily ritual. She wrote about her emotions, meditated for 20 minutes, and then practiced a physical discipline. Walking, yoga, conscious day, she repeated, "My pain exists, but it does not control me. My discipline guides me." Over time, sadness turned into strength. Over time, her life returned to clarity. Over time, she understood, strength is not the absence of pain, it is mastery over it. That's the key. Now remember, mastering your emotions doesn't mean becoming insensitive. It doesn't mean being cold-hearted. It means consciously choosing how you react, every thought you allow, every action you take, every emotion you face. That is the discipline that transforms. That is the strength no one can take away from you. That's the key. Let's break down 3 practical steps to becoming your own emotional warrior. 1. Daily self-affirmation. Wake up. Look at yourself in the mirror and repeat your power. Simple, clear, repetitive phrases. I am in control. My pain does not define me. My discipline guides me. Do it every single day without exception. That repetition builds the foundation of your resilience. That's the key. 2. Conscious mind training. Every negative thought is an opportunity for mastery. Name it, observe it, and choose your response. Don't let your mind dictate your life. It's not about eliminating emotions. It's about choosing action over reaction. That's the key. Discipline of the body. Run, walk, stretch, breathe, train. Every physical movement strengthens the mind. Every conscious effort increases your capacity to face pain. Your body is your weapon. Your discipline is your shield. That's the key. Listen to this. Many people expect sadness to fade with time. They expect other people's words to restore their peace. They expect circumstances to change. But that doesn't happen. Strength doesn't come from waiting. Strength comes from building it. You have a choice. Every day, in every action. That's the key. Repeat with me. Strength is not the absence of pain. It is mastery over it. Say it out loud. Say it while you walk. Say it while you breathe. Say it when fear and sadness threaten to paralyze you. That's the phrase that reminds you of your power. That's the discipline that transforms you. That's the key. Now, a vital reminder. No one else can do this for you. No one. Don't wait for someone to give you permission to take control of your mind. Don't wait for anyone to validate your discipline. Your inner warrior awakens only when you decide, only when you act. That's the key. Finally, prepare for action. Each day, build your warrior ritual. Wake up. Affirm your power. Train your mind, move your body, master your emotion. Every small act adds up. Every repetition strengthens your resilience. Every conscious choice is one more step toward your inner power. That's the discipline. That's the transformation. That's the key. And now, as you close this chapter, internalize this. You have mastered the building of your inner strength. You have mastered your reaction to pain. You have mastered your ability to be your own emotional warrior. You have control. You have power. You have discipline. That is the truth no one else can give you. When you're ready, prepare for the next step. We will learn how to transform sadness into tangible, productive action. Chapter 5. Transform sadness into action. Listen carefully. Up to now, you've learned to accept your pain. You've understood the cost of resisting sadness. You've stopped depending on others. You've trained your mind and heart to become your own emotional warrior. Now comes the next step, the one that separates those who remain victims of grief from those who take control of their lives, transforming sadness into action. Yes, your deepest emotion can become the very force that lifts you to new heights. That's the key. First, understand this. Sadness by itself changes nothing. Feeling pain without action only keeps you trapped. Action is what transforms. Every tear can plant a new beginning. Every moment of despair can become energy to build something new. But for that to happen, you must decide. You must take conscious action. You have a choice, always. That's the key. Let's start with strategy. Step 1. Identify the energy within your sadness. Do it right now. Ask yourself, which part of my pain can I use to create something positive? Which habit, project, or goal could I fuel with this emotion instead of letting it consume me? This is the mental discipline that turns victims into survivors. That's the key. Now listen to a real example. Laura lost her husband unexpectedly. Her sadness was paralyzing, but one day she decided to channel her pain into concrete action. She began writing her memoirs, then a blog about resilience. With every word she wrote, with every page she completed, her sadness transformed into strength, clarity, and purpose. Every tear became a seed for her new path. Every tear can plant a new beginning. That's the key. Step 2. Turn emotion into daily habits. You don't need major changes right away. Small, consistent steps are more powerful than occasional grand gestures. For example, each morning, instead of drowning in memories, do something tangible. Write, draw, walk, meditate, work on a project that moves you closer to your goal. Every conscious action builds momentum. Every conscious action strengthens your emotional discipline. That's the key. Now hear this clearly. It's not about ignoring your pain. It's about using it. It's not about pretending that everything's fine. It's about channeling your emotion to create real results. Every moment you spend avoiding, procrastinating, or complaining, you lose power. Every second you choose to act, you regain it. Every tear can plant a new beginning. You have a choice. That's the key. Step 3. Set goals with intention. Every action needs a target. Not just any target, but one with meaning. One that turns your pain into purpose. People who have faced deep loss didn't wait for life to change for them. No, they created goals that challenged their pain. Learning something new, starting a project, helping others, rebuilding their lives consciously. Every purposeful action transforms sadness into movement. That's the key. Now, notice the pattern. Consistent action, daily action, repeated action. That's the antidote to emotional paralysis. Discipline doesn't come from joy, it comes from acting despite the pain. That's true strength. Every tear can plant a new beginning. Every step you take, no matter how small, brings you closer to your life, your purpose, your clarity. That's the key. Think about this. Every time you suppress action, you let sadness gain control. Every time you decide to act, you remind yourself that you have power over your emotions. You don't need permission. Don't wait for approval. You have a choice, to act and transform, or to stay trapped. That's the key. Here's another example. Roberto lost his mother and fell into deep depression. For weeks, he did nothing. Then he realized that pain could be fuel instead of a prison. He started small, walking outside, organizing his home, enrolling in a writing course. Each action struck a blow against his pain. Each day was progress. Months later, his life had changed. He built a business, inspired others with his story, and turned his loss into purpose. Every tear can plant a new beginning. That's the key. Now, internalize this. Transforming sadness into action doesn't erase pain instantly, but it changes your relationship with it. Every conscious decision, every repeated action, every disciplined habit gives you back control. It reminds you, I am stronger than my sadness. My pain can teach me, not stop me. You have a choice, that's the key. Step 4. Celebrate every bit of progress. Don't wait for massive results. Every action, every step is a victory. Each small achievement strengthens your discipline. Every moment you choose action over paralysis, you're training your mind and heart. That's the key. Now remember the central phrase. Every tear can plant a new beginning. Repeat with me. Every tear can plant a new beginning. Say it every morning. Say it when the pain feels unbearable. Say it when despair tries to drag you down. That's the phrase that turns emotion into energy. That's the discipline that builds resilience. That's the key. Finally, listen to this. Your sadness is not your enemy. Your inaction is. Your paralysis is. Real power comes from taking what hurts and turning it into something that builds your life. Don't wait for others to do it for you. You don't need permission. You don't need approval. You have a choice. Act. That's the key. And as you close this chapter, internalize this final thought. You've mastered the understanding that every emotion can become energy. You've mastered the ability to transform pain into conscious action. You've mastered the decision not to be a victim of your tears. Every tear can plant a new beginning. That is the lesson that changes your life. Get ready for the next level. We're going to learn how repetition and persistence build your ultimate resilience. Chapter 6. The Power of Repetition and Persistence. Listen carefully. Up until now, you've accepted your pain, understood the cost of resisting it, stopped depending on others, trained your mind and transformed your sadness into action. But there's a fundamental principle that many ignore. Transformation doesn't happen all at once. Transformation happens through repetition. Transformation happens through daily persistence. That's the key. First, understand this. Life will hit you harder than you can imagine. Losses, disappointments, frustrations, they're inevitable. But what determines who recovers and who sinks isn't the intensity of the blow. It's what you do every single day. Each day you choose discipline over comfort, action over complaint, persistence over excuse. You build resilience. You have a choice. You always do. That's the key. Listen closely. Never underestimate the power of small daily steps. A morning walk, 1 minute of meditation, writing down 3 things you're grateful for, taking a deep breath before reacting. It all adds up, it all builds strength, it all compounds. It's invisible at first, but unstoppable over time. That's discipline. That's the key. Let's look at a practical example. Miguel lost his brother and fell into despair. He decided that every morning he would do 3 things. Write in his journal, breathe consciously for 5 minutes, and repeat affirmations of strength. Nothing spectacular, nothing anyone else would notice, but he did it every day, without exception. Months later, Miguel had not only overcome his initial pain, but had rebuilt his life, his purpose, and his resilience. Each repetition added up, each daily act reinforced his strength. That's the key. Now understand this. The mind learns through repetition. Every affirmation you repeat strengthens your mental pattern. Every habit you repeat strengthens your emotional discipline. Every action you repeat builds your resilience. Consistency is your most powerful weapon. You don't need anyone to recognize it. You don't need permission. You just need to do it. Again and again. That's the key. First, make a list of your daily rituals. They can be simple. Conscious breathing every morning. 3 power affirmations in front of the mirror. Physical exercise to release emotional tension. Writing about gratitude or reflections on your pain and growth. Do it every day. No excuses. Do it even when you don't feel like it. Do it even when it feels like it's not working. The mind and body absorb these actions like hot iron. Each repetition strengthens your resilience. That's discipline. That's the key. Second, fight emotional procrastination. Every time you postpone facing your pain, you weaken your strength. Every time you choose to ignore your process, you give away control. Daily, repeated, persistent action is your shield against fear, sadness, and paralysis. Do it over and over again. Consistency conquers pain. That's the key. Think about this. Many people expect instant results. They want the pain to disappear in a day, in a week. But deep healing is like carving stone. 1 strike a day over and over until the shape appears. Discipline is invisible at first, but relentless over time. Each repetition is a strike that weakens pain's grip and strengthens your heart. That's the key. Now, one more real example. Sandra lost her husband and fell into deep depression. Every day she practiced 3 minutes of deep breathing, wrote 3 things she was grateful for, and repeated affirmations of resilience. She didn't notice the changes at first, but after a few weeks, her perspective shifted. Her energy returned. Her clarity came back. Her life began to rebuild itself. Daily repetition, persistence, transformed her sadness into strength. That's the key. Listen, it's not about perfection, it's about consistency. It doesn't matter if you fail one day. It doesn't matter if a habit breaks temporarily. What matters is starting again. Every repetition counts. Every conscious decision to continue is a step toward your strength. Do it over and over again. Consistency conquers pain. That's the key. Now let's talk about how gratitude reinforces your persistence. Each day, find at least 3 things, no matter how small, to be grateful for. It could be the breath you take, the morning sun, a moment of silence. This simple act trains your mind to focus on resources and opportunities, not on loss and complaint. Daily gratitude is an exercise of inner power. That's discipline. That's the key. I want you to internalize another truth. Repetition and persistence turn action into habit, and habit into unstoppable strength. Each time you choose discipline over comfort, each time you choose action over avoidance, you're building a stronger version of yourself. You have a choice. Let pain paralyze you, or use each day to strengthen your resilience. That's the key. Finally, listen closely. The power doesn't lie in what you do once. It lies in what you do consistently. Persistence conquers even the deepest pain. Repetition transforms sadness into strength. Daily discipline builds a new you. You don't need permission. Don't wait for validation. Do it every day, no excuses. Do it again and again. Consistency conquers pain. That's the key. As you close this chapter, internalize the final thought. You've mastered the understanding that repeated action and daily persistence overcome any emotional crisis. Each day is a step toward your power. Each habit is a seed of resilience. Each repetition strengthens your heart and mind. Do it over and over again. Consistency conquers pain. That's the lesson that transforms your life. Prepare for the next level. We're going to learn how to break patterns of fear and anxiety to keep your emotional strength intact. Chapter 7. Redefine what you lost. Listen carefully. Up until now, you've learned to accept pain, to stop resisting sadness, to stop depending on others, to become your own emotional warrior, to transform sadness into action, and to use repetition and persistence to build your strength. Now it's time for a deeper step, one that separates those who merely survive loss from those who grow through it. Redefining what you lost. That's the key. First, understand this. Loss is not the end. Loss is not a permanent void. Loss is a turning point. Every painful event, every goodbye, every failure contains a seed of clarity and learning. But to find it, you must choose to look beyond the pain. You have a choice. You always do. That's the key. Here's the principle. Many people remain trapped mourning what's gone. They cling to memories, to expectations, to what they thought life would be. But listen, holding on doesn't bring back what's lost. It only drains your energy and your future. It's not absence, it's redirection. Learn and grow. Repeat that until you feel it in your heart. That's the discipline that transforms. That's the key. Let's look at a practical example. Laura lost the job she'd had all her life. The sadness paralyzed her for weeks. But one day she decided to see the situation differently. She asked herself, what can I learn from this? What door is opening that I hadn't noticed before? She redefined her loss as an opportunity. She took courses, reinvented her career, and today runs her own business. It's not absence, it's redirection. Learn and grow. That's the key. Now listen closely. Redefining your loss doesn't mean forgetting. It doesn't mean minimizing what hurts. It doesn't mean deceiving yourself. It means looking at your pain and asking, how can I use this to my advantage? How can I turn this experience into growth, clarity, and strength? That's the discipline that changes lives. That's the key. Step 1. Analyze your loss with honesty. Write down what you lost and how it affected you. Then write what you can learn from it. Ask yourself, what hidden lesson lies behind this pain? What new perspective can I gain? Most people skip this step and stay trapped in victimhood. You are not most people. You have a choice. That's the key. Step 2. Redefine your priorities. Loss gives you clarity if you look for it. Every painful experience reveals what truly matters. Relationships, purpose, habits, goals. Adjust your life according to this new clarity. It's not about what's gone, it's about what you decide to build now. It's not absence, it's redirection. Learn and grow. That's the key. Here's another example. Carlos lost his lifelong partner. The sadness was overwhelming, but he decided his pain would be fuel, not a prison. He redefined the loss as an opportunity to explore new passions and build healthier relationships. He began studying what he'd always wanted, traveling, reconnecting with friends. Each action turned his pain into clarity and purpose. Each decision reminded him, it's not absence, it's redirection. Learn and grow. That's the key. Step 3. Turn loss into tangible action. Reflection without action is empty. Action without reflection is blind. Combine both. Ask yourself, what habit, project, or change can I begin as a result of this? Every loss contains a lesson that strengthens your character. Life doesn't stop because you suffered. Life offers direction if you choose to see it. It's not absence, it's redirection. Learn and grow. That's the key. Now listen to this deep truth. Redefining what you lost gives you back your power. Each time you look at your pain with the intention to learn, you turn it into strength. Each time you transform sadness into clarity, you take control of your life. You don't need permission. You don't need validation. You have a choice. Stay stuck or evolve. That's the key. Think about this. Many people carry resentment, anger, and pain for years. They focus on what they no longer have, on what was unfair, on what was taken. That energy destroys, it doesn't build. You are not like that. You choose redirection. Every tear you shed can feed a new purpose. Every painful experience can teach something that transforms your future. It's not absence, it's redirection. Learn and grow, that's the key. Step 4. Share your learning. Teaching, inspiring, or simply sharing what you've discovered turns your loss into legacy. Others will see that pain doesn't have the final word. Others will see that discipline, persistence, and intention can transform adversity into opportunity. Each story, each example, each conscious act reinforces your power and clarity. That's the key. Finally, internalize this. Loss doesn't define your life. Your interpretation does. You can allow it to paralyze you, or you can allow it to guide you. You can live in absence, or you can live in redirection. The choice is yours. You don't need permission. You have a choice. It's not absence, it's redirection. Learn and grow. That's the lesson that turns pain into power. As you close this chapter, repeat with me. It's not absence, it's redirection. Learn and grow. Say it now. Say it. Say it when you feel the weight of loss. Say it when sadness tries to take over. Say it every morning. That phrase will remind you of your power. That phrase will restore your control. That's the key. Prepare for the next level. We're going to learn how to forge unbreakable resilience in the face of any adversity. Chapter 8. Build new connections with intention. Listen carefully. Up to this point, you've accepted your pain, understood the cost of resisting it, stopped depending on others, trained your mind, transformed sadness into action, used repetition to build resilience, and redefined what you lost. Now we reach a principle that separates those who merely survive from those who thrive, building conscious connections that strengthen your life, not ones that keep you escaping it. That's the key. First, understand this. Relationships can heal or destroy. Not everyone is support, not every friendship is guidance, not every word is useful. Hear this clearly. Surrounding yourself with people who reinforce your pain or depend on your sadness is not healing, it's paralysis. Don't look for replacements. Look for strength. Repeat this until you feel it in your mind and in your heart. That is discipline. That is the key. Here's the principle. Conscious connections uplift. They don't replace. This means you're not looking to fill a void. You're not seeking others to give you back what you lost. You're not looking for validation for your pain. You're looking for people who inspire action, reinforce discipline, and show you possibility. You have a choice. You always do. That's the key. Let's look at a practical example. Anna lost her best friend and felt alone. For months, she tried to replace her with anyone who could fill the emptiness. She failed. Her sadness grew. Then she decided to change her strategy. She sought mentorships, support groups, and people with emotional clarity. These new connections didn't replace what she lost. They strengthened it. Don't look for replacements. Look for strength. That's the key. Now hear this with force. True recovery depends on strategic relationships. Every person you connect with can be a mirror of your discipline or your weakness. Choose with intention. Notice who uplifts your mind, who challenges your comfort, who inspires your action. Surrounding yourself with people who only validate your pain doesn't help. Don't look for replacements, look for strength. That's the key. Step 1. Identify the connections that strengthen you. Make a list. Mentors who guide you, friends who inspire you, support groups that teach resilience. Each connection must have a positive purpose. Ask yourself, does this relationship make me stronger or weaker? Does it push me to act or keep me stuck? You have a choice. That's the key. Step 2. Remove connections that feed victimhood. This is not about resentment or revenge. It's about emotional discipline. Every relationship that keeps you in complaint, dependence, or where your pain is the common ground is one that drains your energy. You don't need permission to cut off what doesn't serve you. That's discipline. That's the key. Step 3. Build new connections with daily intention. Do it consciously. Attend support groups, seek mentorship, offer help to others facing similar challenges. Each interaction must have purpose: to learn, to grow, to share resilience. Every conscious relationship reinforces your transformation. Don't look for replacements. Look for strength. That's the key. Listen, it's not about quantity, it's about quality. It doesn't matter how many contacts you have. What matters is how many relationships strengthen your mind, heart, and action. Every person you choose consciously strengthens your ability to overcome loss and build purpose. That's discipline. That's the key. Think of another example. Pedro lost his father and felt isolated. He tried to fill his loneliness with shallow relationships. Nothing worked. Then he sought people with similar experiences and mentors who taught him resilience. Gradually, his conscious network gave him real support, practical advice, and daily motivation. Every connection strengthened his process. Don't look for replacements. Look for strength. That's the key. Now internalize this. Conscious connections multiply your strength, not your fragility. Each relationship is an investment in your recovery. Every conscious interaction reinforces your emotional discipline. Every piece of advice, support, and challenge brings you closer to your inner power. You have a choice. You always do. That's the key. Step 4. Give before you receive. Conscious relationships are built through action, not just words. Share your lessons. Support those who struggle. Inspire through your example. Every conscious act strengthens your network, reinforces your discipline, and builds your resilience. Don't look for replacements. Look for strength. That's the key. Listen carefully. Recovery is not a solitary path. The loneliness that paralyzes is a choice, not a destiny. Build connections that reinforce your purpose, your action, and your emotional clarity. You don't need permission. You don't need approval. You have a choice to stay isolated or to surround yourself with conscious strength. That's the key. Finally, internalize the central thought of this chapter. Complete healing is amplified by strategic and conscious relationships. Every connection, if chosen with discipline, accelerates your transformation. Every conscious bond reminds you that you are not alone, that your pain can guide you toward deeper, more meaningful relationships. Don't look for replacements. Look for strength. That is the lesson that reinforces your resilience. That is the key. As you close this chapter, repeat with me. Don't look for replacements. Look for strength. Say it now. Say it every time you feel tempted to depend on others to fill your emptiness. Say it every morning. This phrase will train your emotional discipline and consolidate your conscious support network. That is the key. Get ready for the next level. We'll learn how to maintain your emotional strength in the face of any adversity and build an inner shield that no one can break. Chapter 9. Learn to live in absolute presence. Listen carefully. You've come a long way. You've accepted your pain, stopped resisting it, stopped depending on others, become your own emotional warrior, transformed sadness into action, used repetition to build strength, redefined what you lost, and built conscious connections. Now comes a principle that transforms life itself, living in absolute presence. That's the key. First, understand this. The past cannot be changed. The future is uncertain. You only have control over the now. Every moment you spend reliving what you lost or worrying about what's to come, you weaken your strength. Hear this clearly. The past is history. The future is uncertain. Only the present is your power. Repeat it until you feel it in every fiber of your being. That is discipline. That is the key. Look at this. Many people live trapped between what was and what they fear will be. They relive conversations, mistakes, and losses. They worry about future decisions that don't even exist yet. Listen, this drains your energy, your clarity, and your action. You don't need permission to take control of your mind. You have a choice. That's the key. Let's see a practical example. Daniel lost his mother and spent hours reliving every detail, every unspoken word, every perceived mistake. His sadness grew, and he felt powerless. Then he decided to practice mindfulness, to focus his mind on each breath and each sensation of the present. Every day he repeated, "The past is history, the future is uncertain, only the present is my power." Over time he stopped reliving pain and started living. He found peace. That's the key. Now hear this. Living in the present doesn't mean ignoring your emotions. It doesn't mean denying your pain. It means observing it without allowing it to control you. It means responding to the moment with clarity and action, not reacting out of fear or guilt. That's the discipline that transforms. That's the key. Step 1. Practice daily mindfulness. Dedicate at least 5 minutes to focus on your breathing. Observe every inhale and exhale. Feel your body. Feel your surroundings. Don't judge, just observe. Every minute you train your mind to stay in the present strengthens your emotional resilience. The past is history. The future is uncertain. Only the present is your power. That's the key. Step 2. Take conscious pauses throughout the day. Every time you catch yourself reliving past moments or anticipating future problems, stop. Breathe. Repeat the phrase, "The past is history, the future is uncertain, only the present is my power." Repeat it until your mind returns to the now. Do it again and again. That is discipline. That's the key. Step 3. Act with intention in every moment. Every decision you make in the now holds more power than any reflection on the past or worry about the future. Every conscious action builds your emotional strength. Every choice made in presence multiplies your resilience. You don't need permission. Just act. That's the key. Think about this. Many people believe that remembering their loss helps them heal. Listen carefully. Reliving pain does not heal. It only repeats the patterns that keep you trapped. Healing happens through present action. Healing happens when you train your mind to be here, now. The past is history. The future is uncertain. Only the present is your power. Repeat it. Do it daily. That's the key. Let's see another example. Mariana lost her job and spent weeks thinking about what she did wrong. She felt trapped and paralyzed. When she began to practice mindfulness, focusing on concrete daily tasks, she stopped being a victim of her memories and began building new opportunities. Each conscious moment strengthened her confidence and clarity. The past stopped controlling her. The present became her most powerful tool. That's discipline. That's the key. Now, hear this with force. The practice of presence is daily and repetitive. It's not something you learn once and forget. It's constant training. Every conscious breath, every redirected thought, every focused action strengthens your resilience. Every time you choose the now, you take control of your life. You don't need permission. You have a choice. That's the key. Step 4. Combine gratitude with presence. While you are in the moment, notice everything that works, everything you have, everything you're capable of doing, every sensation, every person, every resource. This reinforces your focus, strengthens your mind, and reduces anxiety. Every act of conscious gratitude connects you to the present. The past is history. The future is uncertain. Only the present is your power. That's discipline. That's the key. Repeat with me. The past is history. The future is uncertain. Only the present is my power. Say it when you wake up. Say it before you sleep. Say it when you feel fear, sadness, or anxiety. This phrase is your anchor. This phrase is your shield. This phrase turns action into freedom. That's the key. Finally, internalize the lesson. Living in absolute presence transforms pain into power, anxiety into clarity, and loss into opportunity. Every moment you choose awareness over reaction, you strengthen your inner force. Every breath, every action, and every present thought builds the life you deserve. You don't need permission. You don't need approval. You have a choice. That's the key. As you close this chapter, remember, power always resides in the now. The past cannot control you. The future cannot limit you. Only the present is your tool for transformation. Repeat it, internalize it, live it. The past is history. The future is uncertain. Only the present is your power. This is the lesson that prepares you to face any adversity and keep growing. Get ready for the final chapter, where we'll bring all the principles together to build an unbreakable emotional shield and live with renewed strength. Chapter 10. Close the cycle and awaken your inner power. Listen carefully. This is the chapter that brings everything together. Everything you've learned so far. Accepting pain, not resisting sadness, letting go of dependence on others, becoming your own emotional warrior, transforming sadness into action, practicing repetition and persistence, redefining what you lost, building conscious connections, and living in absolute presence. It all culminates here. It's time to close the cycle and awaken your inner power. That's the key. First, understand this. All your losses, all your wounds, all your doubts, they only have the power you give them. Up until now, each chapter has shown you that you are not a victim, that you have choice, that you have control. And now it's time to solidify it. This is not about fleeting emotions, it's about daily discipline. It's not about excuses, it's about action. That's the key. Look at this principle. Many people think that overcoming pain is a linear process. Hear this clearly. It's not. It's not about erasing memories. It's not about ignoring emotions. It's about integrating every experience into habits, strength, clarity, and action. Every conscious decision you make today strengthens your resilience tomorrow. Every conscious action brings you closer to emotional freedom. You have a choice. That's the key. Let's look at a practical example. Marta lost her brother and spent years in grief. She tried to ignore it, cried uncontrollably, and depended on others to feel better. Nothing worked. Then she started a daily ritual, writing reflections about her pain, planning concrete actions to improve her life, practicing mindful breathing, and doing gratitude exercises. Each day strengthened her will. Every habit trained her mind. Every action transformed her pain into power. Your loss no longer dictates your life. Your decision does. That's the key. Now listen to this. Close the cycle with daily rituals. Don't wait for the pain to disappear on its own. Don't wait for life to give back what you lost. Take control. Each morning, review your intention. Today I act with clarity. Today I turn my pain into strength. Today I train my mind and my heart. Each night reflect. Today I chose awareness. Today I chose action. Today I strengthened my inner power. Repetition turns discipline into habit. Discipline turns habit into unstoppable strength. That's the key. Step 1. Review everything you've learned. Remember your victories and your moments of discipline. Recognize how you faced pain, how you redirected your sadness, how you chose action over inertia. Every reflection strengthens your mind. Every acknowledgement reinforces your resilience. You don't need permission to honor your progress. You have a choice. That's the key. Step 2. Turn your lessons into permanent habits. Make self-affirmation a daily ritual. Make conscious action your standard, not your exception. Make mindfulness and gratitude unbreakable pillars. Every habit reinforces your ability to face future losses without losing your center. This isn't about fleeting emotions, it's about daily discipline. That's the key. Step 3. Strengthen your inner power with consistent action. Every small goal you achieve, every project you advance, every challenge you face, they all strengthen your spirit. Don't wait for others to motivate you. Don't wait for life to be fair. Your power comes from you, from your decision, from your consistency. Your loss no longer dictates your life. Your decision does. That's the key. Listen to this. Consolidating inner power requires repetition, intention, and clarity. Each day, choose to focus on the present. Each day, act instead of react. Each day, learn from the past, apply the lesson, and move forward. Each day strengthens your mind, your heart, and your spirit. You don't need permission. You have a choice. That's discipline. That's the key. Think of another example. Luis lost his business and felt defeated. Every day he replayed his mistakes, compared himself to others, and froze. Then he decided to close the cycle. Each morning he wrote down clear goals, planned specific actions, and practiced gratitude for what he still could control. Each night he reflected on what he learned and how he could improve. Over time he transformed his loss into his greatest drive. Your loss no longer dictates your life. Your decision does. That's the key. Step 4. Share your strength with others. Teaching, inspiring, and supporting those who face pain strengthens your own power. Every word you give, every example you show, reinforces your discipline and resilience. Every conscious act strengthens your emotional legacy and your ability to live with purpose. It's not about pleasing everyone. It's about consolidating your strength. That's the key. Now listen to this final truth. Your inner power has always been there. You just need to integrate it, train it, and express it with daily intention. Closing the cycle doesn't mean forgetting. It doesn't mean minimizing. It doesn't mean excusing yourself. It means choosing awareness, action, and discipline over the victim you once were. Every decision, every action, every habit reminds you. You don't need permission. You have a choice. Your loss no longer dictates your life. Your decision does. That's the key. As you close this chapter, repeat with me. Your loss no longer dictates your life. Your decision does. Say it every morning. Say it every night. Say it when fear or sadness tries to take over. This phrase is your anchor, your shield, and your reminder of power. That's the key. Now take a deep breath. Feel your strength, feel your clarity, feel your inner power. You built it with discipline, with action, with intention. You consolidated it with habits, reflections, and conscious decisions. Each chapter of this audiobook trained you, guided you, and challenged you, and now you are ready to live with renewed strength. That's the final lesson. That's complete transformation. Close the cycle. Awaken your power. Act today. This is your life. This is your decision. This is the key.